We stood in the shadow of the streetlight, as the cold November wind curled around us like an indifferent spectator. While I strained to hold the universe I had built in my heart for Jamie, his eyes slipped away, cast to the cracked pavement below. "You're too much," he finally said, cutting through the silence with words as jagged as the night. "Too emotional. I can't breathe with you smothering me like this." His voice lingered in the air long after his feet had carried him into the oblivion of the city night. My heart, battered by the truth, had finally been severed without ceremony. In that moment, the universe I had nurtured with boundless love collapsed under its own weight, leaving nothing but the void of rejection. For once, I didn't chase after him, didn't beg for reconciliation or acceptance. This time, I simply stood there and let the echoes of his departure mold my resolve. It was time to stop proving my worth to those who would never understand the depth of my heart. Instead, I would prove it to myself. The days turned into weeks, weeks into months, as I embarked on the journey of rediscovering the self they had labeled crazy. I turned inward, embracing the vulnerability that had once been my anchor, transforming it into the seeds of creativity. I painted the walls of my mind with vivid strokes of emotion, letting each hue tell the story of pain overcome and hope reborn. In the quiet hours of dawn, I found solace on the pages of my notebook, each word a stepping stone towards a new identity. I immersed myself in the world of art, romance fading into the background as friendships and creativity took the foreground. My apartment, once a sanctuary of shared dreams, evolved into a haven for solitude and self-expression. Years passed in an ebullient blur, and the too much that had once weighed me down became the fertile soil for my transformation. I was no longer the person who had stood beneath that streetlight. I had become someone unrecognizable, not just to others, but to myself, a creator, a healer, a force. One crisp autumn afternoon, I found myself standing in the heart of an art gallery, the walls adorned with pieces that bore silent witness to my journey of growth. The gallery buzzed with an expectant hum of admiration and curiosity, strangers weaving through the stories etched in every canvas. That's when our paths crossed again. Jamie's reflection appeared in a lacquered frame, his face familiar yet foreign. He drifted to where I stood, a spectre bound by time and memory. His eyes glanced over the painting before landing on me, surprise etched into the furrows of his brow. "You did these?" he asked, awestruck, as if the universe had shifted in my favor when he wasn't looking. "Every one," I replied, my voice steady and unashamed. Gone was the longing and desire for validation. I no longer needed them. "They're amazing," he murmured, eyes narrowing with admiration, or perhaps a twinge of regret. There was a time when those words would have ignited a beacon of hope within me, but now, they were nothing more than echoes. I saw him, observed the man who had once sent me spiraling, his own life seemingly untouched by the growth that had so markedly shaped mine. "Thank you," was all I said, the weight of our shared history hanging intangible in the space between us. The confrontation I had once feared turned out to be inconsequential in the narrative of my life. Where emotional turbulence had reigned, a quiet power now resided. I had sculpted an existence that transcended the limited perspectives of a past left behind. As I moved away from him, back into the tapestry of fulfilled potential, I understood the true depth of my transformation. Rejection had been the catalyst for a metamorphosis I hadn't known I needed. Jamie remained just a piece of that story, a painful but necessary muse that I had long outgrown. And with each step towards the future, I felt whole, complete in the knowledge that I would never again allow someone to call the core of who I am crazy.